Josh Green here for Tungsten Tales. I'd like to be joined by Cam Crabtree, a man that's in great form at the moment. How are you doing, Cam?
I'm not too bad, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, very, very well, mate. Before we get to the present and how things have been on the Pro Tour and on the Challenge Tour as well this year, I want to get to know your darting story a little bit because you've not been playing darts for a whole long time before you found yourself on the PDC, have you?
No, I started playing during the lockdown. There wasn't really much to do, so I started throwing then because my dad had a board, and then just kept practicing, and it's gone on and on, and it's still going.
I mean, at that point, was it just literally keep yourself busy, and was that the only thing in your mind?
Yeah, my dad played in the IDL, which is an online league, and there's a couple of leagues in London, and he was doing that once or twice a week, and I was quite bored, and I said, "Oh, like, could I join?" And he said, "Yeah, but you're probably gonna get smashed up." And so I thought, well, if I practice, then maybe I won't. So I started practicing quite a few hours each day, and then I've just kind of I've never really stopped practicing.
Hmm. So what was the starting point for you in terms of how you were playing? What were you averaging in those first few sessions?
Yeah, I think my first game, I think I won my first game. I averaged like 42 for three dots. So I had some other ones where I averaged like 38 and 39, and then it was kind of just a steady progression. Like as I was in like Division 7, I think it was.
Hmm.
As I worked my way up, Division 6, 5, 4, I started to average a little bit more. Got up to probably about 60, 65 at home. And then I went out and started playing local leagues, and I joined Super League.
How much did that accelerate your progress playing in person? Because people love playing darts at home, but there's nothing like actually being there with an opponent.
Yeah, I think I much prefer playing in person as much as I enjoyed the online thing, and that was kind of all I'd ever known. But playing in person, it's it's there's just more about it. You know, you don't have to wait for someone else to say they finished throwing, and you don't even know what they're doing really. Um, Playing in person, I got to come across, especially in the Super League, some very good players very quickly.
Hmm.
And so that obviously brings your game up, playing against good players week in, week out.
Was there a point on this journey where you thought it could become not just a hobby for you and somewhere where you were earning real money like you are now on the PDC?
Well, I went to Q school the year before this year,
Yeah.
and my dad had said before, it's not really about winning or anything. It's just I want you to see what things are like. So when you are ready, you're not. It's not daunting for you.
Hmm.
I went and I wasn't very good, but I'd been practicing with Darryl Pilgrim for about 3 or 4 months, and Darryl's obviously a very good player. So I wasn't winning against him. I knew I wasn't really going to do much there. But we kept practicing throughout the year, and as he got better, because he has got better, I started to get a lot better as well. And then when it came around to the last Challenge Tour and Development Tour weekends of last year, I was starting to beat like some big names. I beat Scott Williams, Mike Warburton, Wayne Jones, um, Owen Conterman. I was beating some really good players. I hit obviously 9 darts against Nathan Gervin, and I thought, oh, I'm actually doing all right here. Like I'm not out of place.
Hmm.
I think that made me work harder before Q school because I thought I am actually getting somewhere.
Did you ever look back at those moments when you were beating those names and think, God, not that long ago, I was averaging 40s and 50s, and now I'm wiring nine darters and beating top TV players.
Yeah, it is mad to think about, but I try not to, as proud as I am of that, I try to just keep looking forward and focus on what's next and what I'm trying to achieve. But I think it's very important to remember where you came from. I still, when I can, I still go down to the local league I used to play in, and I still play Super League 3 nights a week because not only is that good practice for me, but they're all my mates.
Yeah. You mentioned your dad a couple of times. Well, he was obviously a big influence in you getting into darts. Do you still have time to practice with him, or is he practicing on his own now?
No, yeah, I was I was back home for 2 weeks last week, so I practiced with my dad and my brother quite a bit. So that was nice. It's nice to do that because a lot of the time we're off wherever. We don't really get a chance to throw together, but when we can do it, it's nice.
Yeah, and right now you're having plenty of success on the PDC circuit, whether that be on the Challenge Tour. I believe you're third in the order of merit there, and on the Pro Tour last week as well in Barnsley, making the latter stage of the tournament, beating some really big names. And that's been sort of a constant this year. You've dug out some really big wins. How has that been for you?
Yeah, it's obviously very nice. You know, these are people that for the last couple of years I've been watching on the TV, and like kind of look up to. So when you first get in that room, it's a bit like starstruck sort of moment. But at the end of the day, they're people the same as I am, and they're just trying to win money the same way I am. So you just have to go in and do what you can. It's obviously great to know that I have the game to beat these players. If I can do it more consistently, then we'll see what happens.
Did you actually watch much of them before you got yourself into this sort of position?
Yeah, I used to love like I remember when I was at college, even it wasn't even the Pro Tour. I was on the bus home and I my phone died. I was watching uh development tour. I wasn't even playing development tour yet, and I was sat on the bus watching on Darts Connect, following all these people that I knew of. Granted, they'd have had no idea who I was, but like people local to London that I knew of. And then anytime there was players championships on anything like that, I'd have it on my phone while I'm in college. I'd be watching, and since then I've followed it all the time. And now, well, I'm at the moment I'm there, so
Mm.
it is a bit odd, but you just have to take it in your stride.
Mm. You talked about Darryl Pilgrim as now. He's another man that's gone from strength to strength over the last 12 or 18 months. Is he much like you, someone who's looking to get onto that professional tour and become a full-time pro?
Yeah, definitely. Um, we're both very much trying to get there. Still practicing. You know, we've got well, hopefully I can get it done this weekend. If not, then we've got Q school in January, and we'll be having quite a few practice sessions in the lead up to that, I would imagine.
You talk about this weekend, obviously the last Challenge Tour events, you sit third, which is one place outside the tour card spots, but you are in those World Championship spots, courtesy of Christian Kist on the Pro Tour order of merit. Being in the World Championship spots, that must be an absolute dream for you.
Yeah, of course. Like when I first started seeing it on Twitter, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And people messaging me, oh, you're in the World Championships, and I was like, well, not yet. I'm not. I still got some work to do. So obviously it's cool that I'm even in a position to be provisionally there,
Mm.
but there's still a job to do. If I get it done, then brilliant. Hopefully I can get the tour card, but to play at the Worlds would be amazing. And if I miss out, then there's plenty of time to achieve both of those things.
It seems like you're not putting too much pressure on this weekend. I thought a lot of players would look at it as there's a lot on the line here, but it doesn't seem like you're looking at it that way.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a lot on the line. I'd love to. I think everyone dreams of playing at the World Championships. Alexandra Palace. I think if I was to win my tour card, that could sort of be the start of my professional career in terms of getting onto the tour and hopefully staying there. But I think the performances I put in this year, if I go to Q school is so tough for everyone. But the performances I've put in this year, I think I'd give myself a good chance. And failing that, I qualified for England at the British Open a couple of weekends ago, and I'd love to get an England cap. So if I don't get my card, then I can't wait to do that and do another year of the Challenge Tour. Hopefully, top up on the Pro Tour. I've got development tour. Modus is great, so it's not the end of the world if I don't get it. It would be nice, but I'm not. I'm not gonna beat myself up about it.
You talk about their sort of the desire to be pro. What are you actually doing at the moment outside of darts?
Not a whole lot. I was working, and then since that, when I won the fourth challenge tour back in January, it then became quite difficult to work because I needed probably 2 weekends a month off, including the Monday and the Friday for travel. If it's a 3-day, like if there's a Friday, then I need Thursday for potentially if it's up in Wigan or it's in Germany. So it became quite difficult. So I haven't just been practicing, but I think it's hard to, although I'm not working, I think it's hard to really feel like a professional unless you're on the tour, which I know I have been this year, but that's just down to the fact that I've had a good year. And I think it's different having one good year to having a consecutive run of good years, like a lot of them on the tour have. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, we certainly will. Well, big weekend coming up for yourself and a big few months as well. Thank you very much for your time, Cam Crabtree.
Thank you very much, mate.